This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
You guys haven't been busy, so I appreciate it. You know, it's been a wild fall. First things first, just a shout out to Coach Watson and volleyball, and Coach Hale, soccer, Coach Buckman again, all three of those guys, SEC Coaches of the Year, had great falls, excited about what's going on for the most part, and looking forward to jumping into basketball season. And it was a great win last night against Duke. I really enjoyed it. Atmosphere was amazing. It was fun. And then baseball is just around the corner. So we're pretty excited. Fall went great. For the most part, stayed healthy, which is always a concern in the fall. The fall is all about development. It still is, still going through that. But got to see a lot of good things. Excited about where the program is and the potential of what could happen this spring.
Go ahead, Hutch.
Yeah, Dave, I'm curious, after seeing everything in the fall, what maybe position battles are still kind of looming that are going to have to be sorted out with preseason practices?
Yeah, you know, I almost really feel like the position battles are going to always be there. I truly believe that's a big part of our program and the way we run things here, that you just have to keep working to play. Even if you're a returning starter, obviously your name's penciled in and until it's not. And I think the competition is what makes players better. I think the competition amongst teammates makes you better for the future. A lot of these guys are going to play pro ball, teaches you how to fight through the minor leagues. So, you know, kind of answering your question, I still feel like they all have to fight. But, you know, if you're talking about wide open, nobody's back, no starter there, you know, you could look at a lot of positions on our team right now, and it's been that way 3 years in a row. And we're going to find a way to get it done again this year. But, you know, the catching spot is it's amazing this year that we have 4 really good catchers. And, you know, a lot of times you're just hoping you have 1 and a quarter. And what do I mean by that? You're just hoping a guy that could back up your starter and give him a rest every now and then. But, I mean, honestly, we could catch any one of these 4 guys and feel good about it. They're all a little bit different. Some maybe more defensive, right-handed hitters, switch hitters, power, maybe quick release, really strong arm, different situations. But I do believe that battle is going to continue, and it's going to make us really strong back there, and we should be able to stay fresh. Are you wanting me to mention names, or how do you want me to go about this?
However you want to take it.
Okay. Well, you guys are at a lot of our scrimmages and practices, so you know, talking about Hudson White, transferred in here from Texas Tech and had a pretty good reputation about it being a good hitter, and maybe you know, it's crazy. You talk to one coach and they say, yeah, he's a really good catcher, and another guy would say he's just an okay catcher. And he came in here, and he's probably the most improved defensively of all of our guys from the time he walked in the door, you know, until like right now. And what do I mean by that? I mean, his receiving skills have gotten better, keeping pitches in the zone longer, you know, and I credit Bobby Wernis and Coach Hobbs for really showing him the way as far as with technology, you know, keeping balls close where you're going to steal some pitches. Just have done a tremendous job there. And then obviously Parker Rowland had an incredible fall offensively. And that was the issue last year. He caught great, threw great, but he didn't hit very well. I mean, he was amazing this fall. You know, I mean, and if he was sitting in here with me, we'd be kind of giggling about it, but it was shocking how much better he was. And he went out to summer ball, played ball, did well, made the all-star team. And, you know, he wanted to play baseball, and he got better. And then true freshman Ryder Helfrich is he's the future. He may be a guy that catches a lot this year. I mean, time will tell. I don't want to put that on him. It's hard for a freshman to manage an SEC staff, especially one like we have. without some help. So I think it's a perfect scenario for him where he can play and get after it and get some coaching from our older catchers and learn from watching, learn from playing. And then Hudson Polk, he came in and had a tremendous fall, hit the ball extremely hard, hit 4 or 5 home runs. And, it's fun to see kids get better, but when you're dealing with the possibility of kids getting drafted after their junior year, the guys jumping in the portal, you just got to recruit. And you kind of, when the smoke clears, usually you might have 2 catchers and a walk-on, and we just happen to have 4 really good catchers. So is it a problem? No. Is it a good problem? Yes. But we'll work it out. They're all really good teammates. So other positions, that took a long time. Outfield is still a work in progress. Kendall Diggs is our starting right fielder. I mean, he played longer than anybody this summer. They won the Cape Cod Championship out there. He had some good days and okay days. Was a little tired, but he's a guy. He's earned it. Right field is his until it isn't, and I don't think it's going to be anybody else's. I could DH him a little bit, but I plan on him playing right field. We have, and the other guys are new. You got Ty Wilmsmeyer from Missouri, hit 300 there last year. Did not hit this fall. Didn't hit our pitching. Played great defense. I think he's a lot better hitter than he showed, and we hope he is. But he's a really good defender. He's a center fielder. And then Will Edmondson is transferred from a junior college. Had a good fall. Got better and better as fall went on. Learned how to deal with the velocity he was seeing, and got better in the outfield. Had a good fall. And then another guy we didn't play out there much because he was working at third was Jason Jones. And for those of you that remember last year, that was injury after injury after injury after injury. I played Jason Jones in left field against Mississippi State, and I thought he looked really good until he took about a 95-mile-an-hour fastball in the helmet, and I had to pull him out of the game. But we've been working with him out there because we're trying to get everybody in the lineup that we need to get in the lineup. And, but he's still working at third. So those are some of the guys in the outfield. And then third base, you got Peyton Holt. You got Jared Sprague-Lott, who played at Richmond last year. That's one of our top defenders. Started hitting the ball really well at the end of the year. He hit 300 at Richmond last year, and he could play anywhere. He's kind of our utility guy. Play short, second. He can play first if we want him to, but he also is a really, really good third baseman defensively. And then Jason Jones can play there as well, and that's probably what you're looking at. At second base, it's Peyton Stovall's job to lose. He was incredible fielding the ball this fall. He didn't play in scrimmages, just talking about practice, workouts, all the way up. And today is our last official day we can work with our players. I don't know if I've seen him miss one ball, and it's been incredible. His skills have just gotten better. The arm's coming along. He's got like one more week of structured throwing program. But he looks better than ever. He's swinging the bat now. Obviously, it's not off live pitching, but sometimes when you get something taken away from you with an injury, you just appreciate everything more. And it's been fun there. Obviously, Peyton Holt is an outstanding second baseman. Sprague-Lott is an outstanding second baseman. So we're going to be fine there. Shortstop, Beheva Aloy transferred in here. Is just getting better and better with the glove. Big kid, got a lot of power. I think he led our team in home runs this fall. I think he had 14 or 15 as a true freshman last year. He's very coachable, and he's letting us coach him, and we're watching him get better. And then Sprague-Lott is probably his backup. So that's a quick run around, except for first. And at first, it's Ben McLaughlin and Jack Wagner. McLaughlin was our DH down the stretch, one of our top hitters. Had an opportunity to sign pro this summer. Turned it down, didn't get drafted, would have been drafted at probably about the 15th round. There was one team that was really, really into him, and with a lot of communication between myself and Ben, he's back. Let's just put it that way. So we're excited that we're going to have him plugged in the middle of our lineup, because I think he's going to drive in a lot of runs. He's a contact guy. He's got some power. Got off to a slow start in fall ball, a lot of experimenting at the plate. Swinging too hard, I could go on and on, kind of went back to being his old self, and he started killing it. So excited about him. And then Jack Wagner, I think he had 14, 15 home runs last year over at Tarleton State. He started his career at Kansas. And when there's been coaching changes at both places, he's left. Probably one of our team favorites amongst players. Hard-nosed kid, had an incredible last week of fall ball, home runs, doubles. He can play first. He can play outfield. So, I've named off a lot of guys, and that's a good thing. You got to have about 13, 14 guys for those 9 offensive spots that can move around a little bit. So we feel real good. And I know I've missed a guy or two, but we feel good about where we're going to be once we get this thing figured out throughout the season.
I appreciate it, Coach. I'll turn it over to the other guys.
Bob, go ahead.
Hey, I think he said Tom. Dave, I'm always fascinated by what your pitching is going to look like. Who do you think is going to be in the starter mix, and just thoughts on that?
And we are so fortunate to have a really good bunch of kids and a good bunch of arms. Let me tell you, obviously it starts with Hagen Smith. And I wanted to mention this real quick. We had a team meeting yesterday, went over a few things, handed out their SEC championship rings. I think a lot of people forgot that we won the SEC championship, and it still bothers me a little bit. I'll be honest with you. It's one of my favorite teams I've ever coached. Just kept getting hurt, and guys just kept stepping up, and all we did was find a way to win. And so proud to hand out those rings to those guys yesterday. But we also voted on team captains, and Hagen Smith is one of them. I don't know if I've ever had one player get so many votes. I mean, it was almost unanimous, 40-some guys, and super excited about him. And then also Kendall Diggs really stepped up as a leader, kind of quiet his first couple of years. This year, a lot more verbal, works hard. Players love him. He was selected as a team captain. And then Peyton Stovall, who was a captain last year, and thought it was big that the players voted for him again. We have so many new guys. And this is a guy that didn't play on the field in scrimmages all fall, but I think they saw his work ethic, his rehab work, and they know his talent level and the way he talked to the guys this fall. I feel super excited about the 3 guys that they selected as captains. And, if you would have asked me, I would have probably taken the same 3 guys. So excited there. But getting back to the pitching, starts with Hagen Smith, and then you can probably run over to Brady Tigert, and I think his stuff's better than ever. Just got to keep him healthy. We need him to pitch. We need him to pitch a lot, and he's really worked on his body. He's got so much stronger in the last 5 months. It's been fun watching it. And then we also have a transfer, Mason Molina from Texas Tech, and his numbers were really good. He walked too many batters this fall, but we didn't hit him at all. I mean, we did not hit him. Gave up maybe 1 or 2 hits all fall. Didn't hardly give up any runs, and command the zone better. And he really didn't have those breaking ball that he had throughout the season last year. So we're talking about 2 lefties and a righty. You can throw in a couple other guys that are young. You can throw in a guy like Ben Bybee has really made a move. Gave up some home runs this fall, but also was dominant every now and then. And we're just talking starting pitching. You can throw in Gabe Gackle as a freshman and Tate McGuire as a freshman. Hunter Dietz as a freshman. And I don't talk about freshmen a whole lot, but those guys are going to pitch a lot. And I thought Colin Fisher threw extremely well. Parker Coyle was amazing. One of the biggest jumps of any pitcher that we've had a tremendous summer. And I know I'm leaving out some guys, like veterans, Will McIntyre. I think his thing is going to be out of the bullpen, but that's just some potential starter guys. And obviously if they're not starting, they're going to be pitching somewhere for us.
Yeah, Coach, I know you don't really know what type of team you have until they start playing other teams, but have you allowed yourself to kind of start thinking of, hey, we're better in this area, maybe we're worse in this area, and start comparing and contrasting to some of your more recent teams the last few years?
Well, I think as a coach, you're always doing that. You're always pondering things, thinking about how you can get better. Hey, last year we did this or did that. But, I think back of I think back to the 22 team, how great that infield was. And so all fall last year, we're talking about that infield. How are we going to, we'll never have that infield again. They were unbelievable. And then all we did was work, and our infield was really good in 23 as well. Fielded like 981. So I guess if you're doing your job as a coach, you're always thinking into the future. You're always trying to correct your deficiencies, so to speak, and your weaknesses, and that's what we do. But I don't see major weaknesses. Are we going to have as good as an outfield as we had last year on the offensive side? Time will tell. If we don't do as much damage at the plate with our outfielders, we got to pick it up with our infielders and our DH. I mean, pitching wise, I like what I see. I like the potential. I like the stuff. But like you said, they got to go do it when we play other teams, somebody with a different uniform on the road in front of their fans. There's so many things that, play into this. But I mean, obviously, I think I mentioned it, we're a lot deeper behind the plate. We have a lot of good options for our designated hitter. I feel like that, example, John Bolton did a great job at shortstop for us last year. Didn't swing the bat a lot. We have a good shortstop. He's very dangerous at the plate. And so, there's a little give and take. Second base, we're going to be fine. Third base, we're going to be fine. I don't think we've gone backwards very many places, if any. The outfield is very inexperienced. I mean, we lost Tavian Josenberger, who's an incredible leadoff man last year. We were rolling until he got hurt, and then we really struggled. By the time he got it going, our season ended. And so that's still a work in progress. Center field, outfield play. So, but for the most part, we have enough. I'm sure the rest of the league has enough. It's going to be who can do it on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and we'll see what happens.
All right, Bob, close it out.
Hey, Dave, you started to say something there about that something bothered you, and you were talking about handing out the rings. What were you?
Well, what bothers me, I said, we won the SEC championship, and a lot of people didn't even realize that. I mean, we won the SEC 2 out of the last 3 years, whether we tied with Florida or not. I just felt like the season ended. It was kind of sad. I felt bad for the team. They weren't really celebrated. They won the SEC championship in baseball. I mean, they beat LSU, won the national championship. They had the most talented team in the country. They kicked it into gear at the end of the year. And but our guys fought all year long with a bunch of injuries. And I was just so proud of them. And I told them that yesterday, that I haven't been around a bunch of guys that fought like they did. And when, 2 pitchers, 3 pitchers go down, a couple of position players, starters go down, we just kept finding ways to win. And giving them that ring was special. And, they weren't celebrated at all. The season was over, bang, we moved on. People were disappointed. I love that team. And I wanted to make sure that they felt that from our staff. And we tried to get as many of them back that weren't still on this team to have that little celebration yesterday, kind of privately. And that's what I said.
And Kendall, I mean, we know he can hit. He seems like he's really come a long way as an outfielder. I remember he was on some highlights, on ESPN from, I guess, summer ball. Just wondering where you think Kendall is defensively.
You think about it last year when we put him in when we had an injury, and that's why he got in the lineup. Put him in right field, and he made the plays, but it sure didn't look pretty, did it? And he knew it, but he made the plays. He fought some ball. Then it just started smoothing out. I mean, this is a guy, when you think about it, he played shortstop in high school. He came here. We played him at third. We played him at second. We loved his swing. Had a strong arm, a little different arm action, maybe for a left side infielder, more of a lower slot, but that's fine. But there was always somebody a little bit better. We feel like, and we've had some professional people tell us, their opinion, that, maybe outfield was his thing. We started working him out there. We were doing it a little bit. I asked him after his freshman season to go play some outfield before the sophomore year, which was last year. and he didn't really get to do it with the team he was on. So we've been talking to him about it for a while. But going out to summer ball, playing some of the outfield last year, he's really, really made a big jump. Defensively, he looks like an outfielder, throws like an outfielder, and I think he's going to have a great year, and I think he's going to hit right in the middle of our order.
Okay, thanks.
Jackson, all you.
Yeah, Coach. Obviously, Hagan has had 2 great years for you, but the uptick in velocity has kind of spread over on social media and everything. I'm just wondering, has anything changed for him? Whether it's preparation, approach, how he goes after hitters now with this kind of uptick that he's gotten.
Yeah, I'd say all of the above. Honestly, first off, Hagan Smith is probably one of the hardest workers I've ever been around, and he's super young for his class. I mean, he'll only be 20 years old at the draft, and he'll be 3 years in college. So he really worked hard on his body. I mean, he already had a great, strong physique, and now he's super strong. He's put on some really good weight. We rested him. Yeah, you could say the uptick in velocity. He's always had good velocity. If he was just our closer and all he did was pitch the 8th or the 9th inning, he's going to go 97 to 100, probably pretty much all the time. We'd like him to pitch at 93 to 96. And he has developed a pitch or two. I won't give away too many details, but his arsenal has improved. Leadership qualities, work ethic. Didn't like the way the season ended last year. The kid's a winner. And, man, if the game's on the line, he's the guy I want on the mound.
And real quick, we got the SEC, the new schedule a month ago or so. Just wondering your thoughts. Any sadness with maybe not playing some teams not every year, or just excitement with the new league?
Yeah, I wouldn't call it sadness, but I would. I mean, I'm not in love with top to bottom with that many teams. I might have been one of the coaches in the room that voiced my opinion that I think baseball is about divisions. It just seems like we follow MLB on a lot of things, rules, this and that. And, I would have liked to have seen 2 divisions or 4 divisions. And, I don't know, but it is what it is. It's going to be strange if there's a year that we don't play Mississippi State or LSU. It'll just be different. But it is what it is. It's like we always tell the players, who's ever on the schedule, that's who we got to go. We got to find a way to beat them, and don't get too high or too low. I think the way the league's set up, you bringing in Oklahoma and Texas, 2 established baseball powers, national championships won over the years, many by Texas, obviously. How many teams are going to get into a regional? There's going to be some really, really good baseball teams that are a lot better than a lot of teams in regionals that aren't going to get in because the league is so deep. And I don't know if we'll ever get more than 10, but really we should probably get 13 somewhere in there every year. And there's going to be a lot of the league is going to be really tight when you're looking at number 7 through in the league through maybe 14. And it's, I think it's going to be a little bit of chaos, but yeah, going to miss some of those teams here and there. And we'll see how it turns out. And if it's great, it's great. If it's not, I'm sure they'll tweak it over the next few years.
Dudley.
I know you announced your recruiting class since then. Just talk a little bit about what you got done with that and how you and your assistants really put together a pretty good class.
Yeah, it's the way there's a lot involved in recruiting now. As you know, there's 11.7 scholarships. There's other ways. There's some teams that have a little more than others. Just leave it at that. It's really hard to put together maybe 2 or 3 top 5 ranked classes. We had an incredible class come in this year. I just have to be careful on how I word all these things. But we went out and got some really good players that really want to be at Arkansas. There's a lot of kids that we felt like we probably could have gotten, and after talking with them for a while and being around them, sometimes financially we just couldn't get them, so to speak. So we did the best we could. They recruits these days, they want to know that they have a great opportunity to play now, and they see that you have a 1 or 2 ranked class come in, and a couple of guys are there from that are at their positions. You deal with that a little bit. You throw in a few other things, and you move to different guys. I really like the class we have coming in. Athletic, some good arms, some solid guys that I think can come in and contribute quick. Recruiting these days, again, it's never over. It wasn't before, but it's even more so now. You're recruiting until the day we start school almost, because of the landscape of everything. So jumping around on your question a little bit, excited about our class, excited to watch them play and see how they do this spring, and try to get as many of those guys to school.
Appreciate it.
Oh, come back around, Ben.
Yeah, Dave, I was wondering what your reaction was to the new Arkansas Edge NIL collective, just kind of what you think about all that.
I love it. We need it. We need it. Can't really talk about it, but there's a lot going on in the SEC, the ACC, all over the country, and you just want to be able to compete for players on an equal basis, and that would be huge for our program if we knew where we were at with the collective, and knew what these guys would have an opportunity to come in and get some employment and know what they were going to get before they got here. It would be big. So I'm excited about Edge and them getting to work, and we'll do whatever we can, whatever the rules let us do, to point out things and help them. I appreciate that them a lot, believe me.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.